Hello and welcome back to NorCal 715. Today I have an Ames Power DC to AC power inverter rated at 5,000 watts maximum, and I believe it's a 4,000 watt continuous output. Anyhow, the customer brought this into me to be looked at, so let's take a look at it. So there's the rear view with the DC input, the large lugs, and a big 4-inch fan to keep it all cool. Let's look at the front. Well, there is the front view. So we have 4 NEMA 515 power receptacles per outlet, max 1,500 watts. And then we have a live, a neutral, and an earth connection, main power on switch, overload LED, over temp LED, and then what it looks like is a battery percentage remaining, probably based just on voltage alone. So a fully overcharged battery could possibly read 150%. Then as the voltage drops 12 volts, 11 volts, it gets closer to that 40% mark where they probably cut the inverter off at that point, once it gets down to below about 10 volts. So let's see if we can figure out how to get this open and take a look around inside. Okay, so I have it somewhat disassembled, and here's the rear with the input and the fan. And then look at this, 16 inverters. Each one has its own set of either IGBTs or MOSFETs to drive each inverter separately. There they are over on the other side. And then while we've got this side down, let's take a look at this. And so here's what looks like the control circuitry with the microprocessor there in the middle, some little output regulators, a bunch of low value resistors, some kind of a current limiting scheme, I'm thinking. A couple more little comparator chips, most likely, a couple of op amps, and a little beeper circuit, and some filtering going on here. What I'm not seeing, however, is any kind of major output filtering. They should at least have a pi filter, a low pass network that keeps the harmonics out of the system. But anyhow, here's a closer look at the inverter circuitry. I'll run back up the other side real quickly. Here's the other side, kind of hard to see with all the wiring in the way. And then we're back up into the control and microprocessor circuitry. And then finally, on this board up here is the digital display. So what we've got here on this side is the LED indicators and the battery cutoff circuitry. And then you've got your output, your NEMA 515s. So anyhow, once again, there is the view of the front panel. So each inverter has its own 10 amp automotive fuse. I believe they're a type AGU fuse. So with 16 inverters, we could potentially supply this unit with a continuous input current of 160 amps without any type of sacrificial damage. Now, I have checked these fuses and they do all test good, so I don't believe that is the problem, but I think my next step is going to be get a 12 volt automotive battery in here, a set of jumper cables, and we will apply some power to this unit and see what happens. So I have the battery connected right now, and I have this one inverter board out because the power supply is not starting. I get absolutely nothing. No LED display. The power switch does absolutely nothing, but I have determined I do have 13 volts here from the battery, and then on this pin right here, that's with the switch off. You can see it draining. When I switch the switch on, I get 13 volts there again. So I've done a bit more troubleshooting and I found a regulator right here, and it takes the raw battery voltage after the power switch, 13 volts, and it should be outputting some voltage back here on pins 4 and pin 5. This is a little step down regulator. It uses a coil. I have a schematic right here. As you can see, battery voltage should go in on pin 1. Pin 3 and 5 should be grounded. Pin 5 is the on-off control, so if you ground it, it's always on. Pin 2 is the output with a spike diode clamp and a 100 microhenry coil, and that outputs a 5 volt regulated output by switching this coil on and off very quickly. They can take in 12 volts and give out 5 volts at 3 amps. So the 12 volt input is probably about 1 1/4 amps. I can't see this little chip doing much work because it's not even on a heatsink. Well, maybe that's its downfall. So let's troubleshoot it and find out why I'm not getting output on pin 2 and pin 4. Pin 2 and pin 4. So I should be getting output on pin 4, which is the feedback pin. I should have something on pin 2. So let's double verify. Pin 1 has battery voltage, and pin 2 and 4 have nothing. Pin 1, let's measure on the pin itself. 2 has nothing. 4 has nothing. So let me disconnect the battery. So it should be draining down now. Big capacitors. So it's nearly discharged at this point. So let's go to ohms, and we will ohm pin 2, 20 ohms. So I'm going to go ahead and desolder the regulator IC if I can. Yeah, I know the battery's going dead in my meter, but it still works okay nevertheless. So I have the regulator desoldered and out of the circuit right here on the lower part of your screen. So now if I check pin 2, I read 5K in charging. And so when I went to pull the regulator out, one of the pins was detached from it. Pin 1, the input pin. But nevertheless, if I just take my ohm meter and go from the tab, which is ground, to pin 2, I get 20 ohms. That shouldn't be. There's no way this regulator should be 20 ohms on the output. Let's change polarity. We get the same thing, 20 ohms. So I'm going to say without a shadow of a doubt that this regulator, LM2576, is certainly defective. So I'm going to get one on order, and we'll get it in there and see if that repairs it. Well, here are some LM2576 HVTs. Just came in the mail. So let's go ahead and put one of them in here and see if we get some better results. I'm going to bend the leads over just slightly on the 2 end pins, just to keep it from falling out. There we go, got the leads all trimmed down. So let's do an ohm check. Pin 1, pin 2, pin 3 ground, pin 4, and pin 5 ground. So before, I believe we had 20 ohms from the tab, which is pin 3, to the output, which is pin 2. Right, so here's the old chip. So from the tab, which is ground, pin 3, to pin 2, we had 21 ohms. So now pin 2, we have 3.8K and charging. Let's change polarity. 600 ohms, much better than 20 ohms. So there must be a diode in there somewhere in the circuitry. So let's go ahead and give it some power and see if we have favorable results. Alright, so this inverter runs on 48 volts. So I've got 4 little 5.5 amp hour 12 volt batteries connected here, and as you can see I've got 51 volts raw. They're all very charged up. I actually have this on my own personal 1500 watt UPS power supply that also runs on 48 volts. And so I've got the unit kind of torn apart here. So this is the output of the regulator that I just changed, and so let me go ahead and connect the battery up to it, and then when I switch the unit on, you can see I get 15.1 volts out of the regulator that I just replaced. And then let me move the voltmeter to the AC output, which is these 2 terminals right here. So hopefully that won't short against anything. We'll put this in AC, and I'll switch the switch on. And you can see I get 122 volts output. And as well, I have just a LED lamp connected to it right here. Oops, telling me my battery is dead. So if I switch the inverter off, the lamp goes off. Switch the inverter on, the lamp comes on. Very quiet. I expected to hear a hum or a buzz, but absolutely none of that. So let's go ahead and I'll get it reassembled. And I should probably put a new battery in my voltmeter here because it is telling me that for quite some time that it's had a low battery. So I'll try to get a new 9-volt battery in there. We'll get it all put back together and give it a final test, put a small load on it, and make sure it works okay. Alright, so I've got the power connected to it. The 4 fully charged batteries, a little over 50 volts right now. So when I switch the switch on, you can see the indicator right here for about 50 volts does indicate. Because of the camera, it actually looks darker than it is, but it's actually quite bright. It's just a pulse width modulation type system. So I'm going to go get a heater and plug into it, and we'll try to draw maybe 500 or 1,000 watts and see what that does. Alright, so I've got a little portable heater. Kind of see it over here on the screen plugged into it. Just the fan running. I'm showing 19 watts. If I put it on low, we're showing 550 watts. Maybe kind of hard to see on the screen. And we're showing the battery voltage has dropped down to about 42 volts here. These aren't obviously the best batteries to use in a situation like this. But we are showing 126 volts output. Under load 125. Voltage is definitely dropping. Definitely need better batteries. But anyhow, it's up and running. So I certainly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider making a donation on my YouTube homepage with the PayPal donate button or at paypal.me/norcal715. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring that bell to get future notifications. Remember, with your help, we can keep these things out of the landfill and out of the recycle bin. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.